It's showtime, folks. Welcome in. Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063, the game on this Tuesday. Hope you're having a great start to your day. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe, Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier on the ones and twos. What's up, JoJo?
Oh, there you go. Turn that mic on. It works wonders,
All right,
man.
Rex Road.
I don't know, man. It's feel good. It's a beautiful Tuesday. Storm's out of the way. It's cold out there today, but it's going to warm up. Here's your 7-day. It'll be a high of 54 today. Tomorrow, 68. Storms going through on Thursday. But Chase, for the first time in a long time in the 7-day, no severe weather alerts.
Well, thank you, Joe. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now in sports, the Florida Gators are national champions in college basketball after defeating the Houston Cougars 65-63 in a game that I would classify as a dandy last night.
It was pretty frustrating, but it was a good game, and they came back and they won. No, it was the most frustrating, beautiful, fun game I think I've ever seen. And real quick,
The refs swallowed the whistle at times.
so for some reason, I'm still signed up to my Indeed account,
Oh,
and I just
okay.
got an alert that said the Tennessee Titans are hiring for vice president of football communications. Came rolling across, so I'm going to take a second to apply for that.
Go.
Send it
We
in.
should just do that like on the air
right,
and read out like all the things.
and then put down references and just make up like Joe Namath, Bud Adams,
Robbie Bourne.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. No, back to the basketball game.
Jared Stillman.
Oh God. There's keywords in there. Somebody told me that Amazon, that they get so many resumes that they have this automated thing that it pings for keywords in your resume. If they don't like it, you're gone. Can you imagine if they have that and you put Jared Stillman in there?
Oh.
I mean, you'd be sent to the trash bin in 2 seconds. No, the game last night was great. They let them play. We were texting each other. They let them play last night. It was a lot of fun. I get all that. But this going down the court and jacking up 30-footers is driving me
But that's college
crazy.
basketball. That's what it is now.
Crazy.
I agree with you, but that's what it is now. I hate it too. I'm traditional, put the big man in the paint and drive to the paint.
Yeah.
I always was taught if you have the ball and you have an open lane, you drive to the basket, you shoot, and you try and draw the foul. You either make the basket or draw the foul.
Will Wade tell you that?
No,
At FRA?
no, I didn't really know Will. I mean, he was already gone when I was his brother.
For the show purposes, you know him.
Okay, yeah, we're best friends. So there
There
you go.
go in there. Florida had a guy last night. He got the ball. I swear he was in the middle of the paint, 5 feet from the rim, and he flung it back out for a guard to miss a 23-footer. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Just take it inside and pound it in there. But Houston did something last night I've never seen in a basketball game, which I thought was great. They didn't rebound. You know what they did? They slapped the ball back out. That's all they did. So when you're going for a rebound, if you know you're not going to get it, slap it. And they were slapping it back out to the guards. I'm like, this is genius. But again, we talk our story all the time. Don't ever quit. Florida last night could have just packed it in. They were frustrated. They didn't quit, and they won the game.
Well, I don't think either team quit. I mean, it was that's what I love, that it came down to the wire. I hate that it ended the way that it did with a player that had been, so phenomenal in this tournament and had been such a big part that basically he's getting caught with a walk and couldn't find anybody to get the ball to. And credit to Florida. I mean, both defenses I thought really played well and did their job to keep the other one out of it. But ultimately, Florida was able to get that last bucket that counted.
Question for you.
Okay.
You're down 2, 65-63. You've got an open 10-footer to tie. Or you pass it back out to a guy who's kind of covered for a 25-footer to win the game. What do?
I'm taking the 10-footer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't Houston try to work it in?
If I'm wide open for a 10-footer, I'm taking that.
Exactly. Tie the game, go to overtime.
I really thought we were getting overtime. I
Yeah.
really, really did. I was like, okay, Houston's got, they have like 13, 14 seconds, something like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, they're going to take it down court. They're going to drive in, tie it. We'll go to overtime.
Yep.
That's really what I thought was going to happen. And then they were stuck on the perimeter.
Yep.
I mean, they could not get in. And so then it's like, oh no, they're going to have a desperation shot. And then time ran out.
And it was just, that's how it ended. I don't know if it rivaled Weber, when he called the timeout in '93, he played his butt off, and you give him grief for what he did, but he played his butt off. That play last night was kind of in the same vein, where he just jumped up and knew he didn't have it, and great play altogether. It reminds me of Fred Brown in '82 for Georgetown when he passed the ball to James Worthy and lost the game for Georgetown. Then it's just a great ending. You feel bad for Houston, but good for Florida. They become the only school, Chase McCabe, 3 basketball championships, 3 football championships.
Oh yeah, that's
only
true.
school.
I didn't think about that.
So if you're a Tennessee fan and you're like, oh man, yeah, SEC, stop it.
Yeah,
Stop it. You wanted Florida to lose and lose bad.
Greg Sankey is happy today, I'm sure, because they needed, for the narrative of being such a dominant conference, they needed to walk away with the trophy, and they did.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't think about that. That's right.
You had 14 teams in the tournament, and I didn't buy a scenario where they were going to have 2 SEC teams in the title game, but you had to have one, and then you needed to win it, and they did. So
and good for them.
So it was a good year for the SEC for sure, but that's an interesting little nugget there. 3 football championships and 3 basketball championships.
I can't take credit for that. They flashed it at the end of the game last night.
Have they ever won in baseball?
Yeah. Right? They have? I think they have.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I know they've won what
about women's basketball?
8. No. I know they've won
so
many softball championships. But let me see baseball. That's a great question there, Chaser. And while you're doing that, talk among yourselves about good biscuits around town.
Yeah. Well, there are some good ones. Maybe some former GMs want to call in and gloat. I don't know.
I'd say biscuits do sound pretty good right now.
Biscuits do
with some jelly.
But it is quite the accomplishment, and especially for that program that it's come around in a shorter amount of time. Like, they weren't good last year.
Florida has never won a baseball championship.
Okay. All right.
I am going Florida State, Miami of Florida. I'm back to the 60s. Holy cow. I thought for sure, because they're competitive every single year.
They've won 16 SEC championships.
All right. They lost in 05 in baseball. They lost in 11 in baseball. And they lost in 23 to Paul Skeens in the championship. They've never won.
There
Florida,
you go.
Yeah. Sorry, man, about that.
Some may say it's a beautiful sight to see.
Hold on, let me look again. Wait, they won in 2017.
I was thinking
my Wikipedia is all jacked up. Okay, they won in 2017, and they've been in the finals 3 times. All right,
there you go.
So good for them. Softball's won numerous times at Florida.
Todd Golden's only 39 years old, has now won a championship.
Bruce Pearl disciple.
Yeah, and what's interesting is, Billy Donovan won those 2 back-to-back. Florida, now it's obviously a different world now.
It is a different world
with NIL and the transfers and all that stuff. But you win a championship, now you're popular, and so there are players that probably are going to be interested in your program. Who's to say they couldn't do it again? Then he's right there in the same breath as Billy Donovan, who just got elected into the Naismith Hall of Fame.
Billy Donovan was a great guard at Providence, led into the Final Four in 1987. Last night, who's the Belmont guy? Will Clenard.
Yeah.
That plays for Florida now. And we talked last night how these mid-major guys are now getting to the portal and bouncing up to the big schools. And the mid-major days are done. The upsets are done. That's because
Richard. Is it Richard? It might be Richard.
Is it Will Richard?
But it's spelt weird, like Richard.
Well, it looks like
Richard.
Richard.
I say Will. What's his first name?
Yeah.
That guy from Belmont.
That guy.
That transferred.
He is the guy from Belmont.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you look at Dalton Cadet, came from North Colorado. Who's the guy that came from North Florida that played at Tennessee this past year? Macklin, or one of those guys that went to Innsworth. What's that guy's name?
Yeah. I don't know. You're asking me all these.
Right. Anyway, he was a mid-major guy.
I just watch the games, man. Okay. I don't know where everybody came from.
So now if I'm like Tennessee, I have a staff who scouts mid-majors and goes and gets them. That's what it is now. I'm MTSU football, for example, lost like 7 or 8 guys to big time. And I get it. to big time programs. And that's how you're playing the game now. You're just a stepping stone. And guys are auditioning in mid majors in college, baseball, football to get to the next level. And I don't blame them for doing that.
No, I don't either. But I mean, that's the game that you have to play. Like, if you're a mid major, you just have to capitalize on the time you have with a guy, or also capitalize on getting these guys that go to the big schools, don't get the playing time, want to play. You go get them for a year and then know you got to do it all over again.
Does it sound good, though, if you're a coach? Let's take Nick McDevitt at MTSU.
Yep.
Say each year he gets 2 or 3 guys poached, go to the big time and do good. I think that benefits Nick
I think
McDevitt
it
well.
does. Yeah.
Because he saw talent in them when these big schools did not see that and develop that talent.
Here's what's interesting. If you look at Florida's roster on their actual website, it tells you what school they came from. It tells you their high school, their hometown, and then if they transferred. Like Walter Clayton was at Iona. We talked about a kid from Belmont. They had a kid from Chattanooga as well. So
wait, Walter Clayton, I had no. So was he at Iona with Rick Pitino?
I think so.
Wow, that's very cool. I had no idea.
Yeah. So I mean, look, it's what, and the fact that you got, coaches like, look, St. John's is a pretty big established program in college basketball, but I think you look at what Will Wade did at McNeese State. He was able to bring in some of those guys that, hey, come here for a year and then see what happens. And I bet you a bunch of them are going to go with him to NC State. So
it's a good way to recruit, man.
It's the way it is.
Come here for 1 year. Let's do it together and see what we got. And they had a hell of a run.
They did. So they won a tournament game for the first time in their history. So
who beat them in the second round?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It wasn't in one shiny moment, I don't think. So.
No, what? You were in there last night. It's proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Walking the sidelines, man. I was like, oh my God, there's Chase.
Are we, you want to do this now or?
Oh, yeah.
Let's just get it over with.
Yep.
Let's go to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com, 615-737-1025. Gator Mike has called in to gloat. Hello, Gator Mike.
Is this a glorious day, Chase? My coffee tastes great today. Birds are singing, and I get to talk to Chase and Big Joe first thing today. How about that?
How about that? I mean, how about your Gators?
Hey, I was telling y'all all along, I was feeling good about this team, the depth, the shooters. Yeah, it wasn't a pretty game last night, but they did what they had to do to be the one standing at the end. So what a great year, great moment for the SEC. Toughest division in basketball this year. SEC as a whole did well for the whole tournament. I mean, it was just, we couldn't have, I mean, even as a partial fan, but impartial fan, you couldn't have asked for a better Final Four and championship game weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It was an entertaining tournament. It didn't have the upsets that people are used to, but in some ways, I mean, when you get the best teams that end up in the Final Four and then ultimately the championship game, I think you'll take that. So I agree with you. I thought it was really entertaining.
No doubt. But, Joe, let me ask you a question. Do you know the only school in the country that has 3 football nationalships and 3 basketball championships now?
I do. That'd be Samford University. They've got this.
He led the show with this, Mike. So he's way ahead of you.
So
I thought he was going to say like Samford or something.
No.
You know,
all right. So let me ask you this, Mike. What's a better team, this 25 Florida team or the 06 or 07 Florida teams?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's tough. We had that debate earlier, some friends of mine and stuff. I mean, I give the edge kind of just to the 06, 07 team just because they were younger and they like transition like this team. But, each team had its own thing. But as far as all around, I mean, when you got Joakim Noah as your center, Al Horford as your power forward, you have Corey Brewer, which, he's a mismatch at 6'9". And then you have Lee Humphrey, who could just shoot it on the outside. And Taurean Green was such a great point guard, kind of a Walter Clayton type. Walter Clayton's definitely a better shooter, could take it to the rim better. But, with Condon and Chinyelu, I just don't think they would have had the total matchup for Joakim Noah and Al Horford on the inside. So I would probably give it to that 06-07 team. Definitely if it's the 07 team, right, because they have another year under their belt. But that first year, I think this team takes it because of all the senior leadership on that team.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Mike, thanks for the call. Congrats.
Hey, thanks again, buddies. Good talk to you.
Absolutely. Our buddy Gator Mike.
Our buddy Gator Mike. Can we, in the not next segment, but later on, can we read a description for the job for communications lead for the
Yes.
Titans.
Yes, we'll do that later. Coming up next, I have a question for you
Okay.
when it comes to the current state of college athletics, but mainly basketball,
Okay.
and how it might affect things moving forward based on this tournament that we saw.
Look at you.
Florida
man.
wins 65-63 over Houston. We'll discuss that and much more here on the Chase and Big Joe Show, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Tuesday. Hope you're having a good start to your day. Broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership with a buzz is always about great service. Florida defeats Houston last night in the national championship game. So my question for you, Joe, is we kind of know the lay of the land with college sports. We had a situation with this tournament where there weren't really any major upsets. And then ultimately you have all number one seeds get into the Final Four. Is that the future? Is that what this tournament looks like? And I know some people might be like, oh, I hate that. You know, I love the upsets and all of that. And that's true. It's definitely one of the reasons why it has the name March Madness.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, this was a good tournament. There were competitive games. I mean, you had 2 Final Four games that ended up being close. You had comebacks, collapses, however you want to put it, and then you had the same thing in the national championship game. So are you good with kind of the direction here? And then, you know, a college sports question overall is what's going to be the formula? Because if you put Houston, like if you went and reset the Final Four and played it again this weekend, you probably have a different outcome. Like, I think they're that close together that
The top teams?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like you play that 5 weekends in a row, you probably, I mean, 4 weekends in a row, you probably get 4 champions.
Yeah.
Like I think they're that close.
I agree.
So what's the formula for being a tick better than another team that's just as good as you?
Desire? Are you talking about individual? I mean,
I
like
mean,
a
yeah.
team?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if
Well, I mean,
this is what we're going to get moving forward,
right. Well, I mean, look, you had it in the 80s too. Look at the 82 North Carolina team that took on the 82 Georgetown team. I mean, you had it there. You had it also going down. I mean, the 92 North Carolina team, the 93 team that Carolina beat Michigan. I mean, there's always the great and elite. We talked about this. The lowest seed to ever win was an 8 seed Villanova. So there's always the good teams are going to be there. This is amplified now because of NIL, what's going on. The Belmonts aren't going to happen anymore. The MTSUs aren't going to happen anymore in the tournament. They're just not. And if they do, we celebrate those. When Greg Sankey's wanting to kick them out of the tournaments, is let's guarantee each team conference this many teams. That's no fun. Why do we like March Madness?
because of the unpredictability.
Thank you. That's it.
Yeah.
That's why we love the March Madness. When Bryce Drew hits a shot for Valpo, they knock off Ole Miss
But I mean,
or whoever.
Right. But don't you like a really good basketball game, like the back and forth? Like last night was a good basketball game. Last night was fun to watch.
All the games
Saturday
were
was
fun.
fun to watch.
It was the
So-
closest Final Four combined closing score of all, like 11 points,
Yeah.
something. It was the games were good. There you go. The 3 games in the Final Four were good. It's changed. It's not going to happen anymore. We're not going back that way. We are not going back that way.
And that's again, that's what I'm saying. Like, but that's college sports. You look at football, it's going to be, you know, you have a 12-team playoff right now. You're going to have different teams maybe get in that last spot, but for the most part, you can pretty much count on every year you're going to have, you know, an Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame will get in there every now and then. Tennessee will get in there every now and then.
So let me ask
Florida,
you this.
you know, I mean, you're going to have the blue bloods,
Right.
because as now that you have the freedom to go wherever you want to go, if I say I'm a 4-star, heck, I'm a 3-star out of high school,
Okay. Basketball, football.
football.
All right.
And I go to MTSU
All right.
and I have a really, really good year
See ya.
for Coach Mason. Coach, appreciate you. See ya. I'm going in the portal. Well, all of a sudden, you know, because I put up, you know, 10 touchdowns and close to 1,000 yards or whatever. I'm going to be hearing from Alabama. I'm going to be hearing from Tennessee, like all the SEC teams. I'm going to hear from the Big Ten. I'm going to have my choice
Uh-huh.
and be able to go wherever I want to
What's
go.
wrong with that?
That nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but it's free agency and you're going to have the same team. So every now and then you're going to have a lucky team kind of get in there and put it all together.
So what are you getting at?
I kind of forgot my point when I was talking, to be honest with you.
So let me ask you this.
I was hoping I'd remember it.
All right, so that's a good example. All right, let me ask you this. Arkansas football has the best facilities. It's nice.
Yeah.
Their facilities nice. Do you think, Chase McCabe, that they'll be in the college football playoff for the next 10 years? Be honest.
Arkansas?
Yeah.
No.
Exactly. Right? So
My point is knowing that you know this now, that this is where it is. But in return, I'm going to give you games like you saw this weekend. Are you going to take that?
sure. Yeah.
Okay, so it goes back to, and again, football and basketball is
This is way too deep
it's
for
apple
926.
apples and oranges a little
Okay.
bit. But it kind of goes back to, if you know you're going to get, like, especially in football, the same teams pretty much for the most part, then I still would argue that the mid majors, the group of 5, they need their own champion. You need to do
That's a good
something
one.
with that.
Nobody's going to watch
Because
that, Chase.
here's the deal.
Nobody's going to watch that.
I disagree. I think people will watch it.
You're going to watch MTSU take on
If it's-
Iona
if it's-
and the mid-major
if
national
it's-
basketball championship. Nobody's
No, I'm
gonna
not
watch
talking about
that.
basketball. Just the tournament. Leave the tournament alone. The
Okay.
tournament is what the tournament is.
Talking football?
I'm talking football. That you get their own champion in football. Because the answer to your question is, if let's say it's MTSU and Memphis.
Okay.
Yeah,
Memphis.
I'd watch that. Now Memphis, but
That's
don't put it up against the college football playoff. But
it's UFL versus NFL. Nobody's going to watch that. That's the problem.
It's better than UFL. Don't do that. Group
What's the
of
UFL? What's the UFL little brother to? NFL. What's the mid-major
dog. It's
national
not even.
championship?
It's not even a little brother. It's like your third cousin twice removed.
Okay.
I
Still in
put
the family.
Canadian football over UFL. Come on,
Yeah, I
Joe.
mean, this is a different
You need to keep your mouth shut.
Joe. If I told you, hey, you can go watch a group of 5 football game or the UFL, you're taking group of 5 all day
I'm
long.
just saying, in comparison to what they're trying to accomplish, the group of 5 and the big boys, you're not watching the group of 5.
The
at
group
that
of
time.
5 is closer to the Power 4 than the UFL is to the NFL.
But it's still a little brother.
sure.
You're not watching the group of 5. You are not watching the group of 5 in December because they got bowl games they go to that they make more money off of. They're not going to do a group of 5 tournament.
I actually am, because I'm betting on it usually.
You're going to come in here and say, man, did you see that Memphis Southern Miss game? Like, no, I didn't, because I was watching that bowl game or that. I get what
but
you're
you can't.
saying.
But
You got a big heart. I get it. It's not going to happen. You're selling me a sales guy. I ain't buying it. I'm not buying it. No offense. I'm not buying it.
as much as you love football, you would watch it.
I don't think so. I'd rather see MTSU take on Toledo in the Boca Raton Bowl. That's more fun for me.
Okay, well, make the. I don't know. I don't know.
I
don't
get
know
what
the
you're saying,
solution is,
but you got it. The bottom line is revenue and money. People aren't going to watch that.
right.
They're going to go to the bowl games.
615-737-1025. Let's get Trey in real quick. Trey, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to the Florida team. They played a great game last night. And you want me to tell you who was the X factor?
Tell me.
Elijah Martin. He was the X factor. He hit them 2 free throws to close it out. He did a great job, and he's a hometown boy from Summit, Mississippi. He went to North Pike High School. He's I'm proud of him. And shout out to all the Martins. And y'all have a good day. Take care. Thank you.
Thanks, Trey. Appreciate the
Trey.
call. 615-737-1025. We'll get back to your calls, back to your texts coming up a little later in the show. But coming up next, Pred's back in action tonight. Our man Hal Gill, who just celebrated a birthday. We will have Skillsy on. Talk about that coming up next. 1025, 1063 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063, the game on this Tuesday. Predators back in action tonight. We say hello to Mr. Hal Gill. Hal, happy belated birthday, my friend.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
This was a big one, right?
This is a 5-0, yeah.
The big 5-0. Well, congratulations, and I hope you had a good birthday and all of that. I know the Preds game didn't go to plan, but I thought it was. I mean, I like the way that they have played, especially against Montreal. That goal getting called back was a killer, though.
Yeah, that was a tough one. But I feel, I agree with you. They're playing hard. They're doing some good things. The same old thing. Like when they play well, they can't find a way to score goals, and it costs them. But in the end you're looking at these young guys and how they're going to compete, and maybe it's a good thing because you want to get your draft position as good as you can get, but at the same time you want to play good hockey because you want to feel good about it. But no doubt it's frustrating for some of the veterans, but the younger guys, I think, are just trying to get into the hunt and figure out their game.
Islanders come into town tonight, and there's two things in play here. One, they're fighting for a playoff spot. They're probably out of it, but still trying to stay in the mix and stay relevant there. And two, they're just coming off of a game where they're on the other side of history in Alex Ovechkin breaking the goal record. So, I mean, does that kind of motivate the Islanders a little more coming into this one tonight?
Yeah, no, I was watching that game, and of course, everyone wants to see history with Ovechkin scoring the goal, and it was perfect. It was amazing. It was his vintage shot, just letting it rip, and he gets the goal, and then it's 25 minutes that they had to wait during the second period, and the Islanders are sitting there going, guys, I don't know if you know this, but this is kind of a big game for us. Like we need a win here. We need to play this game, or we're going to be kicked out of the playoffs. So they get that win, and now they want to stack them together, and they were hoping Nashville would help them out and take Montreal down a peg, and then they could come in here and beat the Preds, and so I'm sure they're dying. I've been in that position, and we've seen the Preds in that position where you need every point you can get, and so this is a huge 2 points for them to stay in the mix.
I thought it was interesting. Barry Trotz, was on the TV broadcast the other night, and obviously he coached Alex Ovechkin in Washington, won a Stanley Cup with him, and we're biased. We love Trotzy here in Nashville, but I do think Alex's game kind of changed when Barry got to Washington because, as Barry has talked about, he got Alex to play all aspects of the game and made him a better hockey player. We always knew he was going to score goals. That was kind of the easy part for him. But how much did you see Ovechkin's game change when Trotz got to Washington?
Yeah, I think there was a buy-in, and I think, and I'm saying this with a grain of salt, because I think when the game matters, when he needs to compete and battle, that's when he raises his game. If you watch the game, and I've seen him, regular season, Ovi is a different breed. I don't think he took a full stride the whole game and still scored, his, the most goals ever, and he got the big goal. But watching that game, he didn't make a stride. He didn't skate at all. But when he needs to turn it on and the team needs it, he can dig in, and he's a monster. He's 6'3", 240, just a beast. And when he wants to put someone down, he can, and he has that defensive awareness that I think, in large part he got with Trotzy. Trotzy kind of tightened the screws on him, and so he's aware of the game he needs to play. I'm not saying he plays it all the time, but when they need it, he steps up big time. And the bottom line is, I always told the skilled players, like, I don't care. Don't worry about playing defense. I'll cover for you. I'll kill a penalty, and you just wait for the puck. We'll get it up to you, but you better score goals. And that's what he's done. And he's had a heck of a season, 41 goals, and he's 39 years old. So I'll take that on my team any day.
Talking to Hal Gill in the Chasing Big Joe show. Hal, 5 games left for the Preds, and I know you hate this question, and I hate asking it, like, oh, what's there left to play for the Predators tonight? But I mean, Ani, what's your motivation to go to the arena tonight? I know you want to win the game and you get paid and all that other stuff, but deep down, what gets you fired up for tonight when you really have nothing to play for? I hate saying that.
Well, okay. Well, first of all, you got a lot of guys that have a bunch to play for. This is their audition. They have 5 games left. Matthew Wood is going out there like he's dying for this game. He just got one under his belt. He wants to go prove himself again. And you have a long list of those guys. Look at the back end. Delgado and England is out there fighting, chucking bombs. That fight was insane. He's got something to play for. You go up and down the list with Stastny. Then you go to Ford, Svechkov, and Evangelista. All these guys are trying to prove themselves so that they can be in the mix next year. And this is their final audition. As a veteran, losing sucks, guys. I don't care
Right.
obviously you want to play for the cup. It means more when you have a chance to win the cup and you want to get into the playoffs. And that's when good things can happen for your career. And as a veteran, you want to be in the mix. But still, winning is a heck of a lot of fun. And so I think these guys are going out there and they want to play right. They don't want to be embarrassed. They want to compete and they want to show that they care and they want to win. And so I think that's the bottom line. You look at what O'Reilly has done. He's kind of the consummate professional, but he just loves winning. He loves competing and he wants to prove it again tonight.
I love having guys like that. Somebody asked me about the prospects and the Predators, and I'm like, look, I can barely remember who the head coach is. When you talk about the future of the Nashville Predators, I mean, can you put it together like, look, coming up, they got these guys, and this guy is going to be good, or is it all a wait and see?
I think there's a lot of decisions that need to be made, between the end of this season and, that's why guys are trying to influence decisions with how they play in these last 5 games. But, as soon as the season ends, there's going to be exit meetings and there's going to be, ultimately the coaches, the staff, the brass. Trotzy's got a lot of triggers to pull and he's got to pull the right ones. And whether that's moving guys or, you have cap space, you have draft capital, do you want to retool and make it work now because you have the veterans in place that are going to be here? Do you want to just burn another year and kind of wait to get some of those draft picks to hit and some of the prospects to pop up? Or do you want to retool it, sign some free agents and move some of those draft picks to get better players? There's a lot of things that can go in and, they have to figure out the coaching staff. Is Bruno in with Trotzy and Trotzy, does he feel comfortable with that? More importantly, do the players feel comfortable with that? And so I think there's got to be a lot of hard conversations and a lot of deep dives into where this organization is going to go, because there's a lot of ways it could go. Some teams are bumped up against the cap. They don't have draft picks.
Right.
They got to go get free agents. There's a lot of options that the Preds have. And, it's going to depend on where their draft goes, and is it a player that they want to see soon, or is it something that they want to wait on? Do they want to move some of those picks and trade for a guy? Do they want to go out and get an offer sheet for a restricted free agent? Like, those are the things that they need to talk about, because they could retool and turn this around and have a competitive team next year, or they could buy the time and wait till the right time to strike. I don't know all those answers. Barry Trotz, I don't think, knows all those answers right now, but I know Barry, and he's going to turn over every stone to see what he should do next year.
Tell me real quick, the exit interview, is that where they're brutally honest with you? Do they make jokes? Do you joke about? I mean, how does this work? I've never had an exit interview. It's always been, hey, just get the hell out of here.
It's rough. I won't lie to you. The season ends, and the first thing you want to do is go to the bar with the boys and just wash it down and put it to bed. And on a losing season, it's the worst. You're just dreading that. As a younger guy, you're nervous as hell because you're going to sit there with the coaches and you're going to go through the season and what you need to improve on. yeah, it's going to be a hard conversation as a veteran. It's, what do you think of this guy? What do you think of that guy? Are you going to be around, or are you going to get moved? And what do you need to do to be a better leader, to be a better player?
Wow.
And it's honest and it's tough, and you're more than likely hungover, and you don't want to sit there and deal with it, but it's something you have to go through, and you have to bury the hatchet. And there's a lot of decisions that need to be made, and as a player, you're thinking, am I that decision, or where do I end up? And you have those hard conversations. And I did it with Trotzy, and it's tough. And I did it with David Poyle. That was a tough one too. It's just, on a losing season, it's the worst. So I feel for these guys, but it needs to be said. The air needs to be cleared, and then you go into the summer with a fresh reset.
Yep, and that reset is coming very, very soon. Hal, appreciate the time as always, and we will see you tonight.
Sounds good. Enjoy the game tonight, guys.
Absolutely. Hal Gill joining us here on the program as he does every Tuesday at 9:30.
I was like, oh God, they're calling again. Oh, hell.
I don't think it's that way by any means.
I got a question. Well, just for the next segment about the Predators, and I'm looking at all the leagues. What do you think, Chase McCabe, is the most hapless franchise? I mean, you just never talk about them. They're never brought up. There's one on here that I kind of feel sorry for, and it could be any league, but this is an NBA team.
Okay,
that's very hapless.
We will discuss that coming up next. Tune into Sports Talk 8:30 tonight as the Nashville Sounds take on the Memphis Redbirds. Pre-game at 6:20. First pitch at 6:35.
What time's that game tonight?
6:20 pregame.
Is that a home game?
It is.
Right.
First pitch at 6:35
against Memphis.
Against Memphis. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. Sounds Baseball on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks and Family Leisure. It's a deep cut.
Yeah,
Jason
well
Big
done.
Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this Tuesday. It's a good one.
It is a little Buffett, little live Buffett right
a little
there.
live Buffett. We love live Buffett.
We do, man. That is that's a good tune right there, off the Feeding Frenzy album, right, Dr. Crane?
That is right.
That is correct, Joe.
Okay, what's the mess up? You're acting like you're
Well, here's the deal. He said Feeding Frenzy live off that album. I was gonna play it. and
Margaritaville.
yeah, and it's on a list, and so it didn't.
Oh.
It's not the first one on the list. So I'm
okay.
just,
Sorry, buddy.
I was
It's okay.
preoccupied with other things on my computer, and Joe's over here looking at
Okay,
me like
well,
I'm.
I need you to be 100% occupied with this show.
Yeah,
Okay,
right?
I
Come
don't
on.
care about your, deli meats and all that stuff back there. so-
Easy, easy. Watch your mouth there. All right.
I'm kidding. All right, hapless franchises.
Yeah, so going down the list, I mean, do we ever talk? Does anybody ever talk about
This show is a hapless franchise.
Well, that we know that, and we're happy with that. That's why we stopped trying years ago. The Charlotte Hornets. Does anybody ever
Oh.
talk about that?
No.
Dr. Crane, you know who the Charlotte Hornets are?
Yes, I'm familiar with them, but
Okay.
don't worry about it.
I'm just looking at it. I'm like, they were on Sunday playing the Bulls, and I swear there's probably 80 people in the crowd. It's like a noon game. But when you never, is that a hapless franchise? I mean, I would go
yeah.
to baseball and like, well, the White Sox are hapless. Well, they won a World Series 20 years ago. So they're not hapless. But like,
Well, I think you have now. Here's what's interesting. You have hapless that just like you kind of forget they exist, and probably some people wish they didn't. And then you have the ones that are just they had greatness at one point in time, and they just live off that. Like the Chicago Bulls are a prime example of a team that they're living on 30 years ago.
Yep.
And they have a great fan base for sure. I just got back from Chicago. There's a ton of Bulls fans,
right.
But it's like they also recognize that their heyday was 30 years ago. Are the Patriots about to go through that? I mean, they've kind of. I mean,
No, I
now
don't
that the
think so.
Brady and Belichick
Right.
era is done, like, is Vrabel going to be able to
Right.
keep some of that going?
So
don't know.
let me ask you this question. When it comes to baseball, hapless, the Pittsburgh Pirates, all right, their last title was in 79. Are the Pirates hapless, or do you feel sorry for them? Because the owner sucks. They don't spend any
Yeah,
money,
that's good.
and they got
That's
a
good one.
magnificent stadium. Like Charlotte, to me, is
Well,
hapless.
and they have it, but they have a generational player now that they can build around.
Yeah, so I don't know how to put them in
until the the Yankees sign him and when he's eligible.
But I'm talking about a team that you don't talk about much. They never really do anything. In baseball, it's fluctuating so much up and down. The
The
Athletics,
Detroit Tigers.
yeah. I mean,
I mean,
right. I mean, you can't see Kansas City. They're in the same division. Kansas City won a World Series.
yeah,
What in 15?
the Marlins.
Marlins are
I mean,
but
it's
they've
just-
won 2 World Series.
They have, but like both were the same circumstance. It's like, all right, you know what? Let's just buy it and get it over with.
Right. I guess so. I mean, to me, a little bit of that talk is always Seattle, but Seattle's had some, but they haven't been. We still talk about them a little bit. I don't
Yeah.
know. To me, nobody beats the Charlotte Hornets.
I mean, I feel like if you've won a championship in recent memory, then you're not hapless.
What do you go back? 20 years? 25. 25 is a generation.
Yeah, I'd say 25.
Okay. Yeah. Like the Angels won in 02, so they're not.
Close your ears, Ricky, but the Reds.
Haven't won since 90.
I mean, and their problem is they get talent and then they don't want to pay the talent.
Right.
They paid Joey Votto, and that was kind of it. And that was I like Joey Votto, but that was a bad contract.
It was. So I don't know.
Baseball is going to be interesting because the CBA is up after next season.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be extremely contentious, and there's going to be a lockout. So, probably going to miss a season, if I had to guess. And then baseball is going to look a hell of a lot different when it comes out on the other side.
Baseball, hapless. I just saw it. Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, they
They've
went to
appeared in a World Series.
in 07, got swept.
Matt Holliday,
Todd Helton,
Todd Helton. Yep.
Don Baylor. I think Dale Murphy played for them for a little time.
I think he might have been on the first team.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to me, nobody tops Charlotte. They're the most hapless ones.
Yeah. NFL. Cleveland.
They get talked about so much,
Yeah,
though.
and they have a loyal fan base.
It's a great one. Probably the Arizona Cardinals.
I was literally just about to say them.
They're never
Yeah.
good. They're never good. They're a lot of promise. They've been to one Super Bowl, didn't win it.
Yeah.
I mean, you outside our bubble, are the Titans that way?
Mm,
I don't know. I mean,
mm. That's probably true. That's a really good point. Speaking of the Titans, we have a few things to hit on with the Tennessee Titans, but
Yes,
I
we do.
heard something earlier that I was like, I have got to ask Joe about this.
Oh, okay.
If
Thank you.
Cam Ward becomes this person, would you be okay with it? I will ask you that, and I will tell you who. Coming up next in hour number 2. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, the game on this Tuesday. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Florida wins the national championship, but again, we continue to discuss the Titans and the draft, which cannot get here soon enough. I believe Kuiper has a new mock draft out, so that's always exciting. The 2-round mock draft that he has for the NFL. He does have Cam Ward going to the Tennessee Titans.
He does. So a real sidebar to that, Kuiper's mock draft is like $12. So one of you glorious people on Twitter got it and then posted the entire thing, the link all on X. So you go there and see who he's taken. He's got Cam first and then Travis Hunter second to the Browns. And then Carter third to the
Would
Giants.
you like to read who he has for the Titans at 35?
Is it the guy from Oregon?
Could you say his name?
No, that's his guy from Oregon. No,
Okay.
I can't. It's a really good player from Oregon.
No, he's got UCLA.
UCLA. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oluwafemi Aladejo.
That's it.
I don't know how to say his name.
Damn.
But here's my
Wanna
question.
Come on, you want to go home. Damn. Damn.
Here's my question. And I heard Robbie and Paul Kuharski talking about this
All right.
earlier today. And it really got my attention because you know that I love this guy. And Robbie asked this question. If Cam Ward becomes this quarterback, would you be okay with it? Here was Robbie this morning. Your thoughts?
Wasted segment. Baker Mayfield's on his 4th football team. That ain't happening here with Cam Ward.
Sure.
Wasted segment. No.
Why is it a wasted segment? I mean,
You want him to turn into Baker Mayfield, so that means you're going to draft Cam Ward, and then he's going to be shipped off, then go to another team, and land on his 4th team. That ain't happening.
I'm just saying, okay, I see what you're saying. But
go out and get a guy who's been drafted, who's been in the league 7 years now. Get the guy from Browning from Cincinnati.
My thing is if the resume now look, it wouldn't be the number 1 overall pick. He would not live up to 1-1.
Right.
If he's Baker Mayfield.
Right.
But if he turns out to be a quarterback with the Titans, stays with the Titans, the caliber of Baker Mayfield, would you take that?
I'm not waiting 6 years.
Well, I mean,
are you? I'll be dead in 6 years. I'm not waiting 6 years for this.
I hope not.
I'm not waiting for this. No, I mean, yeah, I would. Yeah, and Paul made a good point. Fast track. Yeah, I get that.
Right.
But you got to go through the hell to get the paradise. And he had to go through hell. I mean, the Browns hated him. He went to the Panthers. He got cut, went to the Rams. And now he got the reclamation project in Tampa Bay. He's great. I love Baker Mayfield. I've always thought he's a good quarterback. Titans don't have time for this.
I know, but here's the problem, Joe. Hardly anyone lives up to 1-1.
Then why take him?
Because you have to.
Oh, you don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to.
All right, you can trade out, but I mean, are you going to get the value for 1-1?
I think you would. I really think you would.
I don't. But okay, let's do this little exercise here.
I worked out this morning.
These are the 1-1.
Okay.
I'm gonna name them, and you say if they've lived up to it or not.
All right, go ahead.
Caleb Williams.
Too early to tell, but he's got a good track of yes.
Bryce Young.
He's getting there.
Trayvon Walker.
He's getting there.
Trevor Lawrence.
He's got potential. Yeah.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Joe Burrow.
Absolutely.
Kyler Murray.
No.
Baker Mayfield.
Absolutely.
Myles Garrett.
Yes.
Jared Goff,
Yes.
Jameis Winston,
It's an interesting one because he's still in the league and he can make things happen.
but 1-1.
No,
Jadeveon Clowney,
no,
Eric Fisher,
no.
Andrew Luck,
Yes.
Cam Newton,
Yes.
Sam Bradford,
No.
Matthew Stafford,
Yes.
Jake Long.
No.
I'll answer this one for you. Jamarcus Russell. No. Mario Williams,
No.
Alex Smith,
Nope.
Eli Manning,
Yep.
Carson Palmer,
Yep.
David Carr,
Nope.
Michael Vick,
Yes. I mean, he was damn good.
Yeah. Courtney Brown,
No.
Tim Couch,
No.
Peyton Manning,
Absolutely.
Orlando Pace.
Yes.
We'll stop there.
Didn't Orlando in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we did this the other day. Peyton's the first 1-1 that going back
Right.
that's in the Hall of Fame. Now there are others that
Was Keyshawn 96?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Keyshawn was 96,
No.
and then Kajana Carter, Dan Wilkinson,
Nope.
Bledsoe,
Yep.
Steve Ettman,
No, Ittman.
Russell Maryland,
Damn good with the Cowboys.
Jeff George,
Yes.
Troy Aikman,
Yes.
Andre Bruce,
No.
Vinny Testaverde,
Yes.
Bo Jackson,
Well, could
he
have.
got hurt. Bruce Smith,
Yes.
Urban Fryer,
No.
John Elway,
Yes.
Kenneth Sims,
No.
George Rogers,
No.
Billy Sims,
Yes.
Tom, is it Casino?
Cousineau? No, because he went to the Canadian Football League.
Earl Campbell,
Yes.
Ricky Bell,
No.
Leroy Selman,
No. Well, no. Yeah. The
He's in the Hall-
Buccaneers.
he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Steve Bartowski,
No.
Ed Jones,
Damn straight he
too
did.
tall, should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And then 73, John Matutsak,
John Matusak, yes. Got traded from the Oilers to the Raiders. Yeah.
Walt Patulski,
Nope.
Jim Plunkett,
Yep.
Terry Bradshaw.
Absolutely. So look at
69
that.
was OJ.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was a hell of a player, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so I get what you're saying. So based on that, number one's not going to be everything. So why keep the pick? Why keep the pick?
I mean, it's what I've said all along, but I mean, it seems like they're going to keep the pick.
And I'm thinking now that we talk about somebody's going to draft a quarterback. What if at night 8, what if 18, whoever 18 is, I don't know, I'm throwing it out there, wants Abdul Carter really bad and trades up number 1 and gets Abdul Carter. They want Abdul Carter that bad. And they said, here's what we're going to give you. You'll give you this plethora of picks and you'll be 18 or number 1, number 2, all this other stuff. And you'd be like, well, yeah, look at what we're getting. We're not just getting one player. Hell, we're getting 6 of the first 150. How do you turn that down?
I mean, if that's the trade, then you shouldn't turn that down. But I don't think that's going to be the trade.
Well, that's why
I don't think anybody believes there's a true 1-1 in this draft.
Well, what if you follow with Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter? I think Travis Hunter is a remarkable athlete that people are overlooking.
I agree. Look,
So-
if all of a sudden they change course and they trade with the Giants and move back to 3 and Travis Hunter's the pick, I'm fine with it.
Well, if the Rams call and say, we want your number 1, they're going to take Travis Hunter, the Rams.
Probably.
And then here's what we're going to give you. We'll get all these, because, they love to give all these draft choices. They get all these draft choices. I mean, if you can walk out of this draft with 12 draft choices, oh my gosh, and half of those hit, that's a win-win. But like Chris Sanders said on Friday, if you don't have a quarterback, then you just run in your mouth. You're right. He's right. If you don't have a quarterback to lead your team, that's the quandary here. Because you don't have a quarterback, but you're getting all these great players, but then you don't have a quarterback. And it'll drive you insane. I can only imagine what the Titans draft board looks like. Looks like me trying to last minute cram into an English paper. Just crap everywhere and trying to figure out what's going on. So that's where I am on that.
Okay. 615-737-1025. If Cam Ward turns out to be Baker Mayfield, more of a fast track, as Paul said, would you sign up for that with the Titans? 615-737-1025.
I love it, man. And also, Chase, are you qualified? Are you qualified to be the next director of communications for the Tennessee Titans? Here's my question. What media member would you like to see become the communications director for the Tennessee Titans?
Oh, that's actually an easy answer for me.
Yeah. All right, I want to hear from people. Who would you like to be the next lead communication person for the Tennessee Titans? There's one guy that just would be the best.
All right, so I guess we're doing that now. 615-737-1025, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Chasing Big Joe, 1025-1063 The Game.
still interviewing another candidate, Dr. Spivak.
I don't mind. I look even better in comparison to other people.
Doctor, let me interview Homer, and I'll get back to you soon. Very soon. Maybe 5 seconds, that kind of soon. Homer, let's start with what you know about the NRC.
NRC. Those are the gun nuts, right?
Oh, dear. As a fellow human, I want to help him, but that's unethical.
Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, the game on this Tuesday. 615-737-1025. And we're presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Asking about, would you take Baker Mayfield? Basically, if Cam Ward is Baker Mayfield. Couple of responses. Ron says, "You're crazy, Joe. I'll take Alex Smith all day over Baker." That wasn't really the question, but you are crazy.
I am crazy.
That is true.
All that. Chaser, I don't know about you. I'll just be disappointed to walk up there and say Cam Ward's our guy. I just think there's so more holes in this football team that could kind of be plugged in a little bit here and there with the draft capital you receive backwards from back if you trade out Cam Ward. So I don't know, man. I just don't think he's a franchise quarterback. I don't.
Let's see. Is there any world where we draft Cam Ward and start Levis for the first 5 games? No. I think that would be a mistake. I think keeping Levis on the roster if you take Cam Ward is a mistake. I just think you're putting bad juju in the quarterback room. So if you can move Levis at the draft, I would do that.
I see a draft partner for the Titans, Chase.
Trade partner?
Trade partner, yes. The Miami Dolphins at 13.
Interesting.
Trade number 1. So you flip-flop, you get the Dolphins 13. You get the Dolphins second round if they got a second rounder. And you get their number 1 next year. If you want to trade up this bad, they'll take Travis Hunter. Dolphins, Travis Hunter, great match. Mike McDaniel would love having Travis Hunter. So tell me why this would not work if you're the Titans.
So what do you get coming back?
You get their number 13, you get their second rounder, their third rounder, and their first next year.
So
maybe
don't have to get Tua.
No. Nope.
Okay, I'd consider that one.
Okay.
I'd consider that one.
So you'll get their 13th. You'll probably be able to get a player to plug in there at 13. Somebody, I don't know who, where, maybe that tight end and don't come at me with, I got somebody to throw them the ball. They got 3 quarterbacks on the roster. They'll figure that out. And I know they're not that good, but they'll figure it out. And then you've got 2 in the, so you got 5 picks in the first 3 rounds.
So Kuiper has Jahdae Barron, the corner from Texas, 13th overall.
They don't want him. So who's after that? Who's like the next
Colston Loveland, tight end from Michigan.
All right. Okay. Who else?
Mike Green, linebacker from Marshall.
Yeah. He's pretty good.
16's Matthew Golden, wide receiver from Texas.
All right. There you got Matthew Golden. I mean, you plug another receiver in there.
I'm just, I'm just going along with you on that. This isn't going to happen, but I'm just going.
I hope it does happen, and it's marked. And I'm going to go outside your house with a boombox, like Say Anything with John Cusack, and Dr. Crane's going to drive me to your house. I'm going to sit in your driveway and hold the boombox up for hours, playing this back and over and over again. I just think somebody's going to make them an offer like that, and it's a giant smokescreen. I want to believe this. Cam Ward's not the answer because he got so many other things to figure out. Then you put him out there, he's going to get his head beaten in. And then Callahan's fired in January, and here we go again.
Hannah, listening in Pensacola, great place, by the way. Name a quarterback the Browns haven't ruined. They gave up on him too fast. Yes, I would 100% take Cam Ward as Baker Mayfield without the insurance commercials, though.
True.
I kind of like those.
But
stadiums.
Baker had to go through the fire to become who he is now. We laughed at Rich Gannon. Remember, you're like, he didn't spend that many years in the league. He's with the Vikings for 6 years. before we branch out with the Raiders. Quarterbacks have to go through the fire. Sam Darnold, same
Sure.
way. Geno Smith, all these guys. You're not waiting around
Well,
5 years.
but
for
I mean,
this.
that's the league. I mean, if by your logic, like none of this is going to work. You know that you're going to have the every now and again. You're going to have the Mahomes, the Mayfields, maybe maybe the Bears have their guy, but I mean, ultimately, most of the time you're going to miss or a guy's going to struggle for a few years before it finally clicks.
Right.
And you don't have the luxury anymore of sitting a guy. I mean, Jared was talking yesterday on his show about, I guess there was a Titans film guy that was basically saying Cam Ward's McNair, which I think is stupid, but he's not. And look, they are their own selves. You can make comps, but he's not McNair. Here's the thing on McNair is Jared did a great job of pointing out. Number one, he played the clip of Floyd talking, and I actually think I was hosting that day. But Floyd was like, I got in front of the media. I said, here's Steve McNair. Take a good look. You'll see him in 2 years. Like that.
Yes.
That's him. You can't really do that anymore,
No, you
especially
can't.
at 1 overall, because Steve was not 1 overall. He was 3rd overall. And they had a plan in place, and he and Fisher were on the same page.
Right.
That we're not going to play. He might play a little bit in his 2nd year, which he did. And then we'll see after that. He didn't even say he was going to play in his 3rd year. He just said, we'll see. But the difference was you could sign him to a 7-year contract, not a 4-year with a 5th-year option.
Right.
So that was a part of it. Well, then McNair takes over as the starter, and it's Eddie George's team really from 90. I mean, before that, but when Steve was the starter in 97, it was Eddie's team. It was Eddie's team in 98. It was Eddie's team in 99. 2000, it started a transition because you brought in Heimerdinger, but it was the defense that it was a defensive-led team. And then probably he was kind of beat up in 01. In 02, that's when you started to see Aaron McNair. And then he was co-MVP in 03.
I think it changed in the Super Bowl. I think it became his team after that 4th quarter performance. Let me tell you this.
To an extent, yes.
Right.
And he was a big part of 2000, but it was still run defense.
You're going to disagree with me right here, but that's fine. Right now, Cam Ward compared to Steve McNair is 1,000 times better quarterback than Steve McNair was.
I'm not going to disagree with you because I know what you're saying.
Right. But what Steve McNair had is that he had it. He had the burning desire to succeed. I mean, Alcorn State put a lot on him. They weren't flashy. He played his ass off. He was so good. And Cam is probably a better thrower and better footwork and mechanics. But McNair had that je ne sais quoi. He had that, that's something, man. That you don't build it. I mean, you just got that. And so Titans, Oilers, Floyd, Jeff got lucky. I mean, but Steve was a hell of a quarterback. And he matured, right? Cam Ward's not getting that.
No, and the other thing is Jeff and Floyd built a solid team around Steve.
Great team around him.
I mean, you already had Eddie, who actually came in a year later, but you had Eddie.
Right.
And then you built pieces like Dyson. You brought in Wycheck. You had D-Mace that turned into a weapon.
Great.
And then the defense.
What do you call that? Lucky.
Yeah,
lucky.
But it's lucky, but it's also they did it the right way. They knew what they needed. And honestly, it's the plan that Borgonzi's laid out there and
Right.
Brinker of we want to build through the draft. That's exactly what they did. Of all the guys I just named, of those building blocks, and all right, let's say the building blocks of those early 2000s Titans teams that were just the pillars, right? Steve, Eddie, Kevin Dyson, Wycheck, Curse, Mason, Bruce, Hopkins. The majority of those guys were what?
Draft picks.
Yeah. You signed Wycheck or traded or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You
drafted those guys.
That's
a good point.
I mean, Bruce was here, but he was a draft pick. I mean, so that's my point.
Yeah, you're right. You got to build. Rand tried last year plugging those free agents in, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might need 1 or 2 to get you over that hump.
Sure.
That's fine. But man,
and that's why I like what they've done this year. They didn't go crazy. Now they brought in some guys, but they brought in more role player guys, and that's kind of what you use free agency for. And then, but they addressed the offensive line to, I think they tried the J.C. Latham experiment. And my guess is Bill Callahan went to Brian and went to Brinker and everybody and just said, look, I'm going to give you my evaluation.
He said
he's a right tackle.
Yeah, Callahan said, hey, I can tell you a lot by looking up a bull's butt, but would you want to take the butcher's word for it?
What's wrong with you?
That's Callahan, man. Does this team get better? According to Mel Kiper's draft, right? He's got Cam 1 and the guy from UCLA who is the defensive end, right? The pass rusher.
Yeah.
Does this Titans team get better after those 2 picks in 2 weeks?
If they do what now?
If they take those 2 guys,
say them again. Say the 2 guys.
Cam Ward and the guy at UCLA that we can't pronounce his name. If they take those 2 guys, are you going to look there on Friday night thinking,
on paper,
yeah,
on
man.
paper, I'm going to say yeah, because we know what Levis is.
Or would you rather have, if you can, be able to get 5 players in the first 3 rounds? 5. I'd like nothing better to go over there the next week at rookie camp and interview 5 guys
Yeah.
that they've brought in.
Yeah.
And just, I'm telling
Well,
you.
if they do that, I don't know if they didn't do interviews with free agents, so
True.
who knows if we're going to.
And they might just get Subway instead of 5 guys.
Yeah, they could.
Let's
Yeah.
do that. But tell me,
New
would
Jersey
you rather
Mets.
have 2 guys or 5 guys that have plugged in guys that could start? Because it could happen.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, but I need to know that I'm going to hit on those 5.
Well, that's up to you now. I got you the 5. I got you the 5 positions. Now you got to hit on them. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. 615-737-1025. Clay has been waiting very patiently.
All right.
Hello, Clay.
Boys, how we doing this morning?
We're great. How are you?
Doing okay. Big Joe, I have breaking news.
This better be good.
Did you boys know that the Florida Gators now have 3 men's and basketball championships and 3 football championships?
We did not.
I had
know
not
that.
heard that.
I had no idea.
They're the national champions in men's basketball.
Really?
I can
Was that last
join in
night?
on this. What's that?
Did that happen last night?
Yes. I can join in on this conversation about the Titans or the draft or whatever you want to do.
Please, feel free.
I think so. Big Joe, you're saying Cam Ward is not a franchise quarterback. right?
Correct.
Well, we know Will Levis didn't, right?
I think we know that. We have a good idea.
I think he's colorblind. He likes to throw the ball to the other team. And he also likes to throw the ball underhanded, correct?
Yes.
So,
So
I don't know about Cam Ward, honestly. I think that's going to be the pick, though.
And that's the thing, Clay. We appreciate you. I got to run to the break, but thank you for calling.
All right.
That's the problem. And I mean, your scenario is great. In a perfect world,
thank you.
I would take your scenario of you trade out and you get a bleep ton of picks that you can use for the next few years.
Mhm.
Similar to what Barry Trotz has done with the Preds. The problem is everybody knows what you know. And that is he's not a franchise, or he's not maybe he is a franchise
But no.
quarterback,
Here's
but he's
the
not the
deal.
number 1 overall pick.
You're not trading for that. You're trading for an Abdul Carter or a Travis Hunter. We get so lost in like, oh, they're Cam Ward. What if you want that Travis Hunter badly? You're like, all right, we can live without this.
Because now it depends on who you are, but if I'm
Dolphins,
if
13.
Okay. But as somebody said on the text line, if the Dolphins GM gets fired if he makes that trade.
Ain't your problem.
But
Hey, are you worried about what happens down the street? It's not.
no,
You're
but
worried
I'm
about
just
what happens in this
saying,
building.
I'm just saying, like,
This is all psychobabble.
you're acting like a team wants to dance on this, and I don't think they do.
What?
Because there's not a true number 1 overall pick in this draft. That's what I'm trying to say.
What did Jeff Fisher sit here and say? We threw all kind of options with the Titans
Yeah.
at number 1.
Yeah.
And he's like, when we had the number 1 pick, They all came at us.
Sure. And I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're getting phone calls, but
Why are you stuck on Cam Ward? Why?
I'm not stuck on Cam Ward.
Then what do you want?
I want to go to break. We'll continue the discussion. 615-737-1025 is Chasing Big Joe on this Tuesday. Join us for the 4th annual 615 Open Charity Golf Tournament. Cromwell Media, along with partners Fox 17, Outfront Media, and Social Indoor, are proud to announce we'll be back at the Hermitage Golf Course on Thursday, May 29th to make a difference while having a great time. You can join us and a few guests, media members, athletes, and musicians as we raise money for Folds of Honor. Donations will go to provide life-changing scholarships to families of America's fallen or disabled military and first responders. Sign up to play or sponsor at 615open.com.
Woo!
You want to win an exclusive Jason Aldean experience? Just text in the keyword Jason, Jason, to 615-737-1025 and receive a link to sign up for a chance to win all-inclusive tickets to the Eurostone Club at Bridgestone Arena to see Jason Aldean, plus a chance to win $1,000 cash. How about that?
I'm already applying.
That is a good one. Real quick, can I read a text?
Yes,
before
sir.
You say what you're going to say?
Yep.
Cam says, I'm okay with taking a shot at a quarterback. It is a risk, no doubt. But how are you supposed to find the guy if you don't keep shooting?
Okay. Great.
And then Chris says, how can you guys say Levis is not a franchise quarterback? If Levis was that bad, the Titans would not have revamped the O-line, right? If Levis was the problem, they would just draft a new quarterback and not touch the O-line. Can't judge him off a crap situation he was out in last year. Bad O-line and even worse play caller as coach. Chris, with all due respect, they know on Will Levis. He ain't it. They revamped the O-line for the rookie that they're going to bring in.
Which I don't think they
you included. We can sit here and we can argue about this all you want. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the first person to come on these airwaves and say I was wrong.
Good.
They're taking Cam Ward number 1 overall.
They're not.
Whether that's the right pick or not, that's what they're doing.
They're not. They're not.
The sooner you all come to terms with that, the better off you'll be.
You don't tell me what to do. All right. So I'm going 6 down. Tell me if this team would trade it for Travis Hunter. Okay. 6, Vegas.
I mean, probably.
8, what does Bryce Young need in Carolina?
Playmaker.
Travis Hunter. They switch 8. 9, New Orleans. They could
need
take up.
They need a lot of things.
They could trade and get Shedeur Sanders. That's a lot of draft. Have him falling there at 9. Why not go up 1 and get your guy?
They need a lot of things. Yeah.
Well, the Chicago Bears like Travis Hunter at 10.
Probably.
Okay. Would Miami wants him at 13? What does Atlanta need for Michael Penix? Playmaker. I'm telling you, there are all these. Here's the one that I'm looking at that's popped up. 17, Cincinnati. They don't need a playmaker, but they're about to lose.
They need Abdul Carter.
They need Abdul Carter bad. So why not? If Bengals say, "Hey, we got our offense set. We'll give you our 17. You get our second rounder. You get our third rounder, our first rounder next year, and you get the Bengals first, second, third rounder. You've already got your first rounder and your second round. You got 5 picks in the first 3 rounds. 5 picks in the first 3 rounds that you've got.
Look, Joe, if you can,
I want you
if they
to
can
look at me and say, Joe, you know all.
You were wrong once. 1984.
I was. All in on Mondale. I just don't want it to be too easy walking around. Here's Cam Ward. And then, we do. We're going through September, October, November, December. Like, he's getting hell beat out of him. I'm not sure he's the guy. Oh, wait, Callahan just got fired. Oh, who's the new coach? Then the restart sets. It's just, no, man. You get these 5 guys. I mean, so I've given you 5 guys. So go ahead and draft these 5 guys and bring them in here. I mean, this is fun, but it's frustrating. See what they're going to do.
Again, if they could pull, and I'll tell you this: if they've sat here for the last 2 months, basically dangling the carrot, saying it's Cam Ward, and we're all, I'm like,
they haven't said
Cam
a word,
right? They haven't. But their actions kind of make you think that that's what they've done, and then all of a sudden on draft night, Goodell walks across the stage, gets booed, and goes, "We have a trade to announce."
Love it.
I would be like, I would sit back like this. I'd go,
you said Goodell gets booed.
I'd clap. I'd reach out and, ask whoever the new PR guy is and be like, could Mike Borgonzi come on and explain himself? And they'll tell me no, but it'll be great.
I love it. And you're like, wondering, man, what in the world? It'd be one of the greatest book endings ever. I love it. I love it. You need capital. You need players.
You do. Do you have the job description real quick?
We'll do it tomorrow. It's too late. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
We've been arguing.
That's fine. Stuff. But because I bet you're going to walk in tomorrow with the number 1 Cam Ward jersey on from Miami.
I am not.
Do you own a jersey?
Yeah.
What do you own?
I mean, I own a few jerseys. Yeah. Preds jerseys, Titans jerseys.
Give me one jersey you own. One jersey. Who is it?
I still have McNair.
Really? From Oiler or Titans?
Titans.
I'd like McNair or their
with
jersey.
the Titan blue that they're so proud of.
All right, that's cool. All right, we'll do that tomorrow. But no,
That's
just I want the drama, man. I want the chaos, and I think you get it when you know this guy's not number one.
Real quick, Bruce wants to weigh in. Bruce, what's up?
Hey, Bruce.
Hey, I wouldn't mind the Titans trading that number one overall for Jake Browning and their first, second, and third this year and their first next year.
Preach.
And Callahan, you know, he's already used to Jake Browning anyway.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce. Love it. Yes. I
Look,
didn't even think about that.
If they do that, two things are going to happen. Now, number one, you know, you can sit there as Brinker and Borgonzi going, we have these solid picks that we can use, you know, the next few years.
Right.
But then the GM in Cincinnati is going to get fired, and then Brian Callahan's going to get fired.
But
which I think is what they wanted.
Browning's not bad. What if Browning comes in? I've told you, I don't think he's that bad.
I think he's a backup.
You don't know that. He played great when Burrow was out. How dare you?
I think he's a backup. That's my opinion. You have your opinion. That's fine.
Speaking of backups, I have to go bad. Back in a minute.
That's what she said.
615-737-1025. Coming up next, we'll get to celebrity birthdays. 1025, 1063 The Game. Text in the keyword country, COUNTRY, now to 615-737-1025 for your chance to win a pair of all-inclusive Eurostone Club tickets to see Lainey Wilson at Bridgestone Arena on Thursday, October 2nd. Distilled by Green River Whiskey. Sit back, relax, and bourbon. Green River Distilling Company, Owensboro, Kentucky. Alcohol by volume varies by product. Please drink responsibly. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this Tuesday. Hope you're having a great start to your day. With that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays. Brought to you by Jarrett Companies, Inc., above and beyond industry standards, commercial plumbing and HVAC, all forms of HVAC units, commercial, refrigeration, grease trap cleaning. Just visit them online at jarrettcompaniesinc.com.
All right, gentlemen. First on the list, we have Dog Farting Awareness Day. That's to start everything off. I just
hold on.
That was quick.
That's what she said.
It's the first. It's the first one on the list.
Dog farting awareness.
That is correct.
We're very aware that our dogs fart.
Yeah, they let us know. Mine farted on me all night last night.
Yes.
Wow.
Don't feed him beans like you always do.
Fava beans are not the best.
Right.
That
Let's
is
see.
not where I thought this
Wow.
was going.
Next one we have is draw a picture of a bird day.
Oh, the Bud Adams type or an actual bird?
You can do that too, either or. We have free cone day, so you could eat an ice cream cone, whatever.
Right. Okay, that's what that is. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
International Be Kind to Lawyers Day. So
Lawyers are people too.
That's
they
right.
are. International Feng Shui Awareness Day. So
What is that?
What is feng shui?
feng shui, it's just pictures of rocks. The feng shui,
Like the
vibe.
Rock, like Dwayne?
Nah, not Dwayne. but, just like feng shui, the vibe.
You're right. You're good.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
you're right.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
Trying to mute. I get it. All right.
Dog farts.
International Romani Day. Not sure what that is, but
He sounds Italian.
it doesn't look Italian.
Okay.
National All Is Ours Day. So
Mm.
some flowers is the picture here. National Dog Fighting Awareness Day.
Oh, we got fighting and farting.
I mean,
Busy day for the dogs.
it's a lethal flatulence is what it is. Um, National Empanadas Day. Don't feed that to your dogs.
No, they'll fart.
That's
yeah.
right.
Step into the spotlight day. Trading cards
That
for
starts at 2.
yeah. Trading cards for grown-ups day. And last on the list is Zoo Lovers Day.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. National Zoo Lover.
Yep.
What's your favorite thing at the zoo?
I don't know. Maybe the elephants. Tigers
Okay.
are pretty attractive to watch.
Always laugh at the National Zoo because in one pen they had the zebras, the next pen they had the lion. I mean, how does a zebra? I mean, aren't you worried all day that
they
that
have-
lion?
Do they have a bear at the zoo?
They do. Yep.
I'm sure they do.
And you can see him downtown on Friday nights.
Oh man, what a great
Nancy
animal.
bear?
What a great animal.
Oh, it is. I think his name's Bruce.
They
All right.
say if it's a black bear, I think the rule is they're okay. But if you go up against like a white bear or brown bear, like the one polar bears, you got an issue. They're very
Look,
lethal.
if I'm not gonna figure this out when he's chasing me.
Yeah, no.
Just saying.
He's just going to be faster than one other person.
That's it.
So always remember that.
All right, time for the celebrity birthdays. Got to get these within 2. Our first birthday, Jenny from Forrest Gump, Robin Wright. How old is Robin Wright?
61.
65.
59.
So
Jason.
I'm on the board.
1-0. Well
Yeah.
done. Actress Patricia Arquette from the Arquette family.
What was the show she was it Everybody Loves Raymond or no?
No, she was a psychic, wasn't she? That saw dead people or something. It was on TV. She won an
Yeah.
Emmy for that.
Yeah. 58.
60.
57. Chaser up 2-0. Off to a good start. Don't know who that is. Don't know who that is. Oh, actor Taylor Kitsch. He was in Friday Night Lights, the TV show. The bad boy was in Battleship. He was the main guy in that movie. He was also in the movie with Mark Wahlberg, the soldiers that get shot in Afghanistan.
Oh yeah. 40.
54.
44. Going down here some more. All right. Singer Peggy Lennon of the Lennon Sisters, not Piggy. Peggy Lennon of the Lennon Sisters. Here's your clue. Lawrence Welk Band.
79.
84.
84 exactly.
Wow.
Nick watching Lawrence Welk on the weekends. Great guitar player Steve Howe of Yes and Asia.
72.
77.
78. He's up 3-2, just like that. Oh, he's just a good old boy, singer actor John Schneider.
60.
67.
65. 4-2, Dr. Crane. Guitar player Izzy Stradlin of Guns N' Roses.
57.
55.
63. Singer Julian Lennon, Johnson.
47.
38.
62. Actor Dean Norris, Breaking Bad. Hank in Breaking Bad.
59.
63.
62. Dr. Crane's up 5-2. Let's see one more here. All right, good. All right.
Greg says this is the time of the show where everything devolves. Yeah, that is true.
Thanks for listening for the first time. Jim Lampley, the great announcer, Jim Lampley.
78.
80.
76. Chaser. It's now 5-3, Dr. Crane. Former NBA star. Love this guy when he played. Terry Porter. How old is Terry Porter?
61.
67.
62. It's 5-4. One birthday left. Chaser, how old is Dallas Cowboys receiver CeeDee Lamb? For the win.
CeeDee Lamb is 29.
28.
He's 26. With that, Dr. Crane takes it 6-4.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You proud of yourself, Nick?
I am actually. I ordered some deli meats and not one celebrity birthdays.
On Farting and Fighting Dog Day. Well done.
Brought to you by Jarrett Companies, Inc. Above and beyond industry standards.
Are they still with us, I hope?
Yeah.
Jarrett Cup, love them. Best segment ever.
Just read the thing.
I love it. As we leave the show today, to our guys out there, with the bad storms last week, it cleared out to what we have today, sunny skies. So if you're going through something bad, know that sunny skies await. Know that we love you. Please talk to somebody if you need to do anything on your cell phone. You can call or text 988. Somebody's always there to talk to you. When you do that, it's a sign of power that you care about yourself. You care about us. We love you. We need you here. Remember this. We love you. More important than anything else in this world, God loves you.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll DVD from Bridgestone Arena coming up next. 102.5, 106.3 The Game.